Welcome back to Clydesdale Media, where we bring you the best from the world of CrossFit. Podcasts, news, special interest, health, fitness. If you like what you hear, hit that subscribe button, hit the notifier so you're the first to know when we have new episodes. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Good Sunday evening, everyone, and welcome to Studio B. Studio B of the Clydesdale Media Weight Loss Journey. My name is Scott Schweitzer. I'm the Clydesdale. I am here with my nutrition coach, Cheryl Nasso. Cheryl, it's been a week.
I know, and we don't have to get too far into details. And I will point out one thing that you mentioned on your check-in that I think that everybody should hear. Where was it? I'm going to pull it back up. I'm looking at it right now. I asked for forgiveness on my week. I will get back on track today. And I just want to start by saying one thing. You get all the forgiveness from me as you will ever get. I am always going to be empathetic for you. But what I will always remind you is I can only be nice to you. I can't get you results by being nice to you all the time. So I am always empathetic and know that you definitely have struggled. But if you were to look back at your last 6 check-ins, and this is me beaten right to the bullet because I know you had a rough week, is ask yourself, how many times have you actually asked for forgiveness? And you should do that. You should actually do that. Yeah.
I haven't.
You haven't, but I have given forgiveness without it being asked for.
You have.
Yes.
But I will tell you the desperation this week hit a point where I had to ask for help.
Yes.
And everything, because things got so out of control to a point where I could do nothing but ask everyone for help. And
yeah, here's the main thing is I wasn't saying that from a purpose of making you feel like I suck. It was mostly also to get you to understand that for you, Scott, you're not my typical client that just ghosts and I know they're not doing the right things. Okay. I trust you 100%. And I also want to give you 100% of my, what's the word I'm looking for? I have confidence that when you aren't tracking your food, you're still doing the right things. And that's why I'm saying that to you. You don't need my forgiveness this week because guess what? Were your habits pretty much the same? Ask yourself that.
They were. I will say that this was probably the worst week I've had nutritionally, working out.
Yes.
Everything since probably for a year.
Yeah.
My worst week for a year.
But was it intentional choices of I'm not on track, or was it from I'm making the best of this situation right now? Like, ask yourself that.
I think 90% of the time I'm trying to make the best of it. Mm-hmm. And then there's 10% this week where I was like, F it. I just have to get through my day.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. In the F it moment, what are you doing that you shouldn't be doing, that you feel like that you would, what do you need forgiveness for this week is what I'm asking for.
So I'm going to tell you, and then you're going to see, we've been together too long. I'm going to tell you and you're going to go, yeah, but it's okay to have a nacho chip.
Okay. So tell me.
So I had nacho chips.
Okay. How many nacho chips?
With salsa.
Yeah.
A little bowl.
Yeah. When's the last time you had a bowl of nacho chips?
It's been a while.
Yeah. Okay. If you wanted to have nacho chips on your daily routine, could you?
I could.
Yeah. So do you think that when you had the bowl of nacho chips, it then was like, I'm going to have a second bowl and then, oh, I've already done this. So tomorrow morning I'm going to have XYZ and well, I'm going to wait till Monday to get back on track. Was it that of a spiral or was it just, I'm going to have some nacho chips and move on?
It was, I'm going to have some nacho chips and move on, but like I didn't measure them. I just hit a point where I needed to take control of something. And in that moment, me eating a bowl of nacho chips was what I could control.
So, and this is so important because I've been on this like I know you guys may have, I'm not sure if you saw my podcast yesterday with the Haley Adams situation, but like, I want people to realize that, and why I got so emotional about that is because with eating disorders, not that you have an eating disorder, but there's so much of a control factor that people with disordered eating patterns do find that similarity. But on the second notion is nutrition shouldn't be so rigid that you can't have a day where like I just want to have a bowl of nachos and move on. Like there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. And at the end of the day, you probably were still within your calories and macronutrients that day because I know how aware you are. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because I probably underate the rest of the day.
I
So
mean, it's like I just feel like that's so true. And Robbie just made a comment I'm going to talk about. Certain foods give us dopamine hits, which makes it hard to resist in moments of stress and need. I would say it depends on the why more than anything. Agreed, but also disagree. I agree 100%. And the purpose is good, but it's really that people should still be able to enjoy those things and move on. That's why I asked them, did you have the bowl of chips and move on? It wasn't a dopamine hit where like I had this and now I need more of it and I need more of it and I need more of it. And that's where people get into this like binge eating like thing and they just can't stop eating. Yes, hyper palatable foods are going to be more addictive. Those are your foods that are high in carbs and fats together and often have a lot of texture and other things with them. Macaroni and cheese, pizza, fried foods, breaded and fried foods, all that stuff, chicken wings, French fries, chili cheese fries. They have the multiple things, and absolutely they can be very addictive. But I don't think that's what you're dealing with. It's just you decided to have a bowl of nachos, like it was there, it looked good. And it's not about the nachos. Like I said, it's about the purpose, like he said, it's about the why more than anything. You just wanted a bowl of nachos.
yeah, and I did change up some things. Like I just felt like I needed to control things. So I've eaten cereal more this week than normal, but what I did is because I'm not eating eggs, I had a protein shake like an hour after breakfast.
Yeah. So, and it's funny because what Robbie mentioned is as you keep using the word control. And that is where I do want to focus a little bit because if you were feeling like your habits all of a sudden last week were in the tank, then maybe you do need to think about like, all right, am I, and I talked about this on my podcast, it's like there's a difference between having an eating disorder and having like disordered eating patterns. A lot of people, in fact, I think the majority of people have some disordered eating patterns. We use food when we're bored, when we're stressed, when we're tired, when you just want to eat something. You were using it in a way of control. Do I think you got out of control with it? Only you can tell that because you didn't track it. I don't think you did, though. Like I said, I'm giving you my confidence that I know that wasn't you. I think you're very hard on yourself. If you were losing control, you would know that because when you're in a place of being somebody that has had an eating disorder, when you are in a place of being out of control, you are not paying attention to anybody else in the room. You are thinking about that food and getting more of it in your belly, and you will eat yourself until you are sick. And you will feel like crap afterwards for it. And I don't think that that was the case. You could tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that was the case.
So this is what I'll tell you. This is what goes through my head in these moments, and that is I feel like I'm out of control, like the nacho chips, right? I have not had those in so long. I couldn't tell you by eyeballing if I was even close to what a macro was. You know what I mean? Like there's the stuff I eat all the time that I know if I don't measure it in that moment, I know I'm pretty close.
Mhm.
With something like that, I feel like I'm completely out of control because I wouldn't even know what a handful of nacho chips would register as in MyFitnessPal
All right. So
in that
let's,
moment.
yeah. So in,
But again, you're right. I wasn't out of control because it was just that moment and I moved on and back to
yeah.
measuring the next day.
Let me ask you this. Did you have a craving for nacho chips or were they there?
Uh, I I wanted something salty, crunchy. Yes, I was craving that.
You were craving something salty and crunchy. Okay. Cravings are also normal. Do you get cravings normally?
No,
So this was a different craving. So yes. How was your sleep last week?
it was actually good considering the stress I was under.
Exactly. So were you getting less sleep than usual?
I would say no. I would say I was getting as much, if not more.
Okay. In terms
But
of
at the
eating,
same time, my sinuses were clearing up.
yep.
So I was breathing better.
In terms of eating, do you think you were eating less than usual?
Uh, yes.
Okay. So when it comes to cravings, yes, you could have been dealing with a control factor, but it also very much could be a physiological need as well. Because when we are under eating, okay, those hyper palatable foods are higher in calories and they're dense in energy. Your body is going to crave them. And because you were not aware of things, you might not even realize your body was like, I am freaking starving. I need food right now. And salty things that are going to be highly palatable. I'm giving you this because there's a lot of reasons why that people need to hear this because everybody judges themselves. You know, you're not the only person that has a bowl of nacho chips. There's a lot of people that will have the bowl of nacho chips and then judge themselves about it. And then instead of just realizing that they should just move on, they now sabotage the rest of the night and the rest of the week and then tell themselves that they suck and they got to start all over again. That's not the case. So, part one is like, I wanted to really dive into the why behind what you were eating. I think that it was stress. I think that it was also a little bit of probably under eating, but I don't think that you were off the rails with things. Have you weighed in, by the way?
I have not weighed in this week.
Okay. Is that an
Yeah, and I
avoidance?
need to.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. It really was just not in the front of my mind.
Okay. I was just checking. Part two of your statement was back on track. And I will say this, there is no track with nutrition. Everybody out there needs to hear that. Okay. There is no track with nutrition. Nutrition is a part of our life. We have to feed ourselves. And that is why I am the biggest believer in like, you can't stop, you can't change your eating just because life gets crazy. If you can't follow your diet when life is crazy, you shouldn't be following it when life is smooth because nutrition happens wherever we are at whatever point we are at. We aren't on this journey to like eat. We're not like, my mission in life is to nutritionify. Like that's not what we're doing. We have to eat so we can live our life the way we want to live our life and show up in our life the way we need to show up in our life and do the things we want to do. It is the fuel that gets us there. We don't go to the gas station to stop at the gas station. Hey guys, we're taking a trip to Wawa's. Let's do it. Let's go. Kids are going to be like, am I going to get a toy? Right? Like nobody takes a trip to the gas station. They stop at the gas station to get gas so that they can do other things in their life. That is food. That is what food is. And that is why when people get so focused on making their whole life consumed by how fast they lose weight and how hard they're working and beating themselves up over things, they never stay consistent. And that's the biggest problem is that they continue to tell themselves, I'll wait until life gets, freed up and things get normal again. And then I'll be, no, it's just like, do the best you can. I'm going to use the gas station now.
Listen,
Like
I am evidence A of it never slows down.
no, it doesn't. And I told you that last episode.
Never.
Never. It's just, and this, I'm going to use the gas analogy. You need gas. You're not going to wait till you find you're on a highway and you see a gas station and you're on E. Okay. I can't stop there. I got to wait till it's a perfect gas station. Your wife is going to be like, you better get gas because I'm not pushing this car home. Like you got to get gas where you got to get gas and you got to make the most of it. So that was just my passionate way of saying the journey you're on is a journey to be the best Scott you can be. And this is just a piece of it. Your nutrition is going to get you there.
A lot of what you said is now making sense to me because when I was under eating, I heard you in my head saying, if you can only do one thing, get some protein in.
Yep.
And so I really focused to try to get my protein up, even if my calories were down.
Absolutely. That's a great.
But in the after effect of that is I was not eating carbs throughout the week. And probably why in that moment, all I wanted was carbs And that's where it went. That's where I took that dive into the nacho chips.
Well,
And I'm not going to say off track
yeah.
or anything like that.
And I think the second piece of this that I wanted to say, or third piece of this now, is that I actually want you to veer off of your nutrition plan a little bit more often on a regular basis. Not saying to go have takeout every single night, but adding some variety into your diet. You are often under your carbs. So maybe you just enjoy nacho chips. Like maybe having them a couple of days a week as part of your lunch. Or and my biggest thing with people is when you guys are adding those things in, add them in as a component of the meal, not the whole meal. So like that was a different scenario. You're having a bowl of nachos, but like a lot of times I'll have my clients like, hey, make a taco salad. Take some nacho chips, add some croutons, quote unquote croutons, nacho chips, or have them with something, like make a sandwich, on some like whole grain bread, have a side of nacho chips with it. Like you're going to be more satiated. And now you're learning what a portion looks like of those things. In fact, in my Facebook group, I don't know if you saw this, last week before the Super Bowl, I put up some graphics for people to see if this is what it looks like to have about 100 calories of tortilla chips. This is what about 300 calories of chicken wings looks like. This is about what this much. I did that in my food, you should look at it because people need to learn that's, like, and this is me also. I'm the coach. I'm telling you to track your food. Why? Because you have a goal. But people should also be able to you should not have to track your food at some point and still be able to hit your macros. That is the end goal, is that you should be so dialed in that it doesn't matter if it's a nacho chip or if it's rice. You should be like, I know it's going to be a little bit of fat. You should be getting that good at things. And that takes time, but it just takes, which is why I know that I talked to you about how I would like for you to start tracking things in the app before you just write them down, because when you go to track them, you're looking at the food facts and you're like, oh, okay, that works in okay. And you're becoming aware of, well, how many of these should I have? Okay, it says about an ounce. And now you're putting them on the scale and you're like, okay, an ounce is about 8 or 9 chips. Okay, now I see how much that looks like, what that looks like. You're associating things better. And that's the ultimate goal. Nobody wants to be at a dinner and be like, hold on, let me pull out my Fitness Pal and see if this top sirloin steak and those mashed potatoes are going to fit in. Like, you want to be able to just know about how much is in that.
Yeah. So I had a rough week. We're not going to get into the details of that, but then Saturday morning, I had logged everything on paper, logged it all into my Fitness Pal, went back to do lunch that day, and all my stuff was gone.
Yeah. So we're going to also, if you are interested, by the way, one of my clients, Amber, freaking hacked my Fitness Pal, and I will give you guys a tip. But if you want, in Trainerize, the app that I use for your coaching, you can actually track your food in there if you so choose to take the hassle of relearning a new way of tracking, because my Fitness Pal has been driving me crazy. I haven't had the issues that you guys are having. Maybe it's because my phone is probably needing to be replaced and that's still like the old generation, but I haven't had any of those issues and a lot of my clients have. So you're not the only person that's been dealing with that.
Well, it just was that little thing I didn't need after the week I had to log in like 5 days of food,
Yeah.
and then it all disappear.
Did it seem like when you were logging it in that things were like pretty under? Did you like look at that at all? Or did you just log it and kind of walk away from it?
Yeah, but what I was really looking at was my protein numbers, which were between like 160 and 200.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Not my carb numbers were low for
Yeah.
sure.
And that's, that's the biggest thing is I'm going to bet your weight's probably down, which isn't a bad thing, but obviously want to make sure that we're keeping you healthy too. So, but yeah, if you want to, I can talk to you about that. Here's the hack that Amber gave me. Y'all know how you have to pay for premium now to use the scan the barcode thing. So there was a TikTok, and I'm sure now my Fitness Pal is going to realize this. If you don't pay for premium and you go to your My Fitness Pal, I'm giving away the hack to everybody, and you go to your location where you're in your profile and you change it to United Kingdom for whatever reason, it allows you to use a scan barcode. I don't know why it works, but it works. So, and she's like, Cheryl, it worked. I tried it. So I'm sure that My Fitness Pal is going to find some way to take that away. But I don't know, maybe it's because it's different over in the UK, but I guess the UK people don't have to pay for the barcode scanner. So, but
That is
right.
crazy.
So you
And
have
that is a feature I miss big time.
well, there you go. Go ahead and try that. So you have not done the open yet, correct? You're doing that on
Nope,
Monday?
tomorrow morning.
Okay. Which division are you doing?
I'm probably going to log at RX.
Yeah.
Just because that's what I did in 2014.
Did you have toasted by then?
I didn't.
Okay.
This is my 5th show today. I just told this story on my last show. I got toast to second bar during this workout in 2014. So you know how like some rigs have the double bar?
Yeah.
I hit the upper bar.
Yeah.
Felt the toes hit, heard the ching, lost my mind, and then turned around to see my judge go, no rep.
So I have like a hack for toast to bar for people that like want to get singles that I could probably get you a toast to bar, but like at the end of the day, it's really going to come down to what you want to do. So I have gotten people toast to bar pretty. It's a little glide kit toast to bar, but it works.
So
yeah.
So this is my true strategy is I'll probably log it as 60 RX. And because of going through what I've gone through medically, I'm probably not going to get that far anyway. I've been doing EMOMs, nothing, bang, bang, bang. So what I'll do is I'll do the 60 calorie row, hack up along, I'm guessing, and then I'll probably go into the scaled version, but I'll probably log it the 60 RX.
I was actually thinking about doing the same thing because for me, I've done every open and I can't do this. I can't do this workout. I mean, I can't do a toast to bar. I can't do a wall ball. I can't do a thruster. I can row. I should not be rowing. So I'm probably just going to row in my warm up tomorrow, row 60 calories and call it a day. And, because very fortunate that I have that motion back. So I will probably do that and just call it a wash. And because I mean, it kind of sucks. That was the first one, but whatever. So, so you're doing it tomorrow. And any plans this week in terms of how does your week look, Scott? Does things look like they're going to be on par this week with you?
I'm not saying that they are because every time I do, a wheel comes off.
Yeah.
Or something. So I'm just going to go into the week with positive thoughts and to do everything I can to meet my goal.
Well, let me ask you this, because this is the most important thing. Okay. And this is good for everybody to hear is when you guys figure out, and because I mentioned this before, that's why I said that, is like, how many free cards am I giving you? How many forgiveness am I giving you? Is when you guys realize, this is the biggest learning tool that you can take right now, Scott, is when you realize that life is going to continue to throw you curveballs and you are not prepared. And then you're constantly telling yourself, I'm going to have to get back on track. At some point, you have to shift and realize that you have to be proactive rather than reactive. And I think that for you, one of the biggest struggles you have always had is never wanting to take the time to be ahead of your tracking and ahead of your planning. And you always like to operate in reverse. And that's really good when life is really smooth, but it bites you in the ass when life is not so smooth. So if I can tell you anything that I would like you to do differently this week, I would like you to be a pre-logger this week, because no matter what,
that is so outside my world.
I know that, but guess what? If you had already had a plan for your food this week, how much different would things have been?
Okay.
Because then you would have been like, I don't have time to go to the grocery store. What do I have? Okay, I'm having XYZ. Done. Like, you would have figured it out rather than in that moment when like stress is hitting you, being like, what do I have available? Because you're probably also hungry at that time too. And like at that point, willpower is gone. So it's like, what do I want to have? Well, those nachos look pretty darn good. So, but it also gives you that flexibility. You know what? Those nachos were really good. I'm going to plan in some nachos this week. I'm going to actually add some fat-free cheese to them because I'm going to have like a nacho with like add some protein to it. In fact, you could even make a dinner. Oh, this sounds so good. Take some like nacho chips and some like ground turkey, some cheese, some salsa. You could even add some veggies in there too if you want. I would add veggies. That's just me. Make a big nacho bowl dinner. That sounds good. In fact, I've seen where you can take those Joseph's Lavash flatbreads and you just cube them up into little things, put them in the toaster or in the air fryer, make your own like healthier version of nachos. This is where if you're logging ahead of time, you can experiment with like logging different things. You'd be like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. I'm gonna try that tomorrow. So I really think that this is the week for you to say, I'm going to be a pre-tracker. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that that's what you need to do because that's where you're going wrong. You're not.
I will.
Yeah.
That I will put 100% effort into that this week.
But y'all on here, I see 10 people are live right now. He just put himself there. All right, I'm gonna try this week to be a pre-tracker. And Robbie, you definitely should. And you don't have to do it forever because once you start doing it, you become like you become that like almost like a nutrition database up here because you've already logged things and you're like, oh, guess what? That also gives you flexibility. Like, oh, I can fit in some of this and that. Like it gives you more flexibility. So roll with that this week. That's going to be your homework assignment. Homework assignment from Coach.
Okay.
So, all right.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, guys. Larry.
Anything else before?
I hope Larry is doing well this week too. Larry's having a rough time. He's been through the ringer as well. He's a client of mine, and I'm not going to put his personal business out there, but he is in a place right now where he needs to take all of the negative stuff that's been going on in his life and make this year his best year. He does. He needs to transform his life right now, and I'm proud to be a part of that. So.
Awesome. Well, everybody, thank you so much for jumping in and joining in. We love when there's comments in the comment section. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifier so you're the first to know when new episodes come out. And we will see you next time on the Clydesdale Media Weight Loss Journey.